So there was an election in Taiwan, right? And again, we would love to have Danny Haifeng on to talk about this. So fascinating. It says fascinating result in Taiwan. So this is from Arnaud Bertrand. Is that how you say his name? Fascinating result in Taiwan midterms elections. Ruling DPP suffers historic defeat, winning only 5 out of the 22 municipalities. The rest go to the opposition, KMT and Friends. So why is this important? So this is this is a big landslide, right? And so all in the blue, that this is the party that wants the one China policy, and then this is the party that doesn't, that wants the Taiwan's independence. So that's why that's a big deal, right? So the ruling party, DPP, suffers historic defeat, and then the opposition, KMT. DPP favors Taiwan independence, while KMT favors one China. It has its own definition of one China, but it's one China. So that seems to be a defeat from all these protests you saw, people wanting to separate from China and Taiwan and all that stuff, and we want to bring democracy to Taiwan, and the United States wants to have a war over it. They just voted against it. They just all voted for the party that represents one China policy. Taiwan president billed midterms as all about China. Now she's resigning as the party chief. Taiwan's president, Tsai Ing-Wen, has resigned as the leader of the island's ruling Democratic Progressive Party after her party suffered heavy losses in midterm elections. The DPP's losses in Saturday's vote come as a heavy blow for Tsai, as she has tried to frame the election, technically a local affair to choose city mayors, councilors, and county chiefs, as a way to send a message against Beijing's rising bellicosity toward the island. So she was saying, so they're having these elections where they elect mayors, councilors, and county chiefs, and she was saying that this send a message to China's central government about their bellicosity towards Taiwan. Beijing has been increasingly assertive in its territorial claims over Taiwan in recent months, and in August launched large-scale military exercises around the island in response to a controversial visit by Nancy Pelosi. Remember when Nancy Pelosi visited there? Okay. But Tsai's appeal to link the issues appears to have done little to boost the fortunes of her party, which is often outperformed by the opposition party in local ballots. So she tried to rally people for the independence of Taiwan, and it did work. People didn't go for it. The KMT, which is widely seen as friendlier to Beijing and advocates greater economic ties with the mainland China, is expected to win mayoral elections in 13 counties. According to Taiwan's official central news agency, Tsai's party, by comparison, is expected to win only 5. One fewer than in the last local election. The result comes despite escalating rhetoric from Beijing. China's leader Xi Jinping told a Communist Party meeting last month that the wheels of history are rolling on towards China reunification, and that Beijing would never renounce the use of force to take Taiwan. Analysts said that the result showed voters were more focused on domestic issues like the economy and social welfare. So this is from CNN, so take it with a grain of salt about this reporting that this really wasn't about the one party, China or Taiwan. This was really more about local shit, and that's what they're saying. Even though the head of the party wanted to make it about one China policy. Taiwanese voters have become desensitized to China's military threat, and hence there isn't quite as much of a perceived urgency to making the issue of survival front and center. Okay, so that's what this person from the Australian National University of Taiwan Studies program says. The DPP's China's threat card is facing diminishing marginal returns over time. So they want to, China's going to come and take us over militarily, and that's in order to scare people to vote for them, and it's not working. The KMT, also known as the Chinese Nationalist Party, ruled over China so that's the party that just won. And that's the party that wants to be closer to China and not break away as the other party does. So they ruled over China between 1912 and 1949 when it retreated to Taiwan after losing a civil war to the Chinese Communist Party. The KMT set up its own government on the island, having taken control of it from Japan after the Second World War, while the Communist Party took control of mainland China. Now, ever since, the Communist Party has harbored ambitions of reunification with Taiwan by force if necessary. The KMT is now widely seen as friendlier to Beijing than the ruling DPP and accepts its so-called 1992 consensus, a tacit understanding that both Taipei and Beijing acknowledge they belong to one China, but with different interpretations of what that entails. Tsai, on the other hand, has refused to acknowledge the consensus. So the leader of the other party is not going to acknowledge the consensus of the one China idea. The position of her DPP is to defend Taiwan's status quo as an independent government and expand its international space against an increasingly... So again, that's the same story over and over, is that the people for independence of Taiwan lost this election. They lost it big. In a statement on Saturday night, China's Taiwan Affairs Office said the election results showed that most people on Taiwan valued peace, stability, and a good life. It said Beijing will continue to firmly oppose Taiwan's independence and foreign interference. So this is where Danny Haiphong would be very helpful. But there you go. So it appears that the leader of the party that wants to keep Taiwan independent and separate from China wanted this election to be all about that, and they lost. And now that they lost, they're saying, oh, it's not all about that. They're saying it's really more about local issues. Well, that was a big mistake then of that leading party, of the leader of that party, to say that's what it was about, that it was about one China policy and independence of Taiwan. That's a big mistake, right? Because you lost, and you lost big. And now you got to say that's not what it's about. Hey, everybody, we're doing live stand-up shows in Los Angeles at the Two Roads Theater, December 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. And also will be March 5th in Tempe, Arizona, April 21st, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Milwaukee and Nashville in April. Those tickets will be on sale soon. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets and become a premium member while you're there. You get all our videos unedited.